I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy Tuesday. It is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Thank you for joining us. 3 full hours with us. We'll take you all the way up to 3 o'clock. We are live from the First United Bank studio. You can call us on the Visual Edge IT hotline. That number is 806-771-0973. Open and waiting for you. You can also hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Thoughts, comments, questions, reactions, all of that, welcome there. Don't forget, Take Us Anywhere with the mobile apps, brought to you by Happy State Bank. We're also streaming live on Fox 34 News Now and on YouTube. Full house today. Clint Scott, Chris Snead, Lucas White, Landon Parrish, Kyler Brown. I mean, it's like a live studio audience. It's fantastic. We will have, as you heard in Choices Sports Center, high school basketball. It's that time of year, folks. Lubbock Cooper, girls first at 6, boys at 7:30. The girls are taking on Midland Legacy. The boys taking on Pampa. Ayo, Sneeder.
What's up?
Captain Sneederoo, how do you do?
What it do, y'all?
How's your
Craig
Tuesday?
just got better. Just got better.
That's
Love
good.
that money. No, my film grade report for my game just came out. Yeah.
Walking high from it. Floating.
Love that money.
Yeah, there you go.
Good. Now we're all right.
Ow.
A lot of green on this thing right here.
That's good.
Especially next to the center judge name.
You know, I'm sure someone could date this back, and maybe it's easier than I'm making it. At what point did we decide, like, green positive, green go, red bad, red stop?
We made our stop signs.
Was it? Well, I mean, seriously, was it in line with that, or was that?
I don't know. Maybe the
or
traffic lights were red at the top.
Or did the
green
pin,
at the bottom?
did the pin grade come first, and they're like, oh, hey, as we do these traffic lights, we should go red for stop, because you see red on your paper, and you're like, that's bad. That's not good.
Bad.
That's not good.
No, it's good. There's not very much red on this sheet.
That's good. That's
We're a
good.
game between 2 top 10 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was I know you have no comment. I went into that game thinking, like, for Ole Miss, there's some, I know this just kills Lucas White back here to hear this. I thought the Rebs had some upset ability in them. You know, I thought maybe Georgia, who hasn't always looked sharp at times this year, I thought, hey, maybe that streak comes to an end. And then the Bulldogs are like, hey, this is why we've won back-to-back national championships. Let us show you in a primetime window and just crush Ole Miss. This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Clint, what high school basketball team's hopes and dreams will you dash this year? Wow. That's a false narrative. We do not control the outcome. Tyler said, what's up, Captain Sneeda Doo-Doo?
What it do? They were kind of pelting Jamie at the end of the show this morning.
I did not tune in. What happened? Inform
Jamie
me.
started kind of piling on a little bit, and they started texters started getting after him a little bit.
Well, what were they discussing?
Somebody said something about Kitley, and he kind of said something.
Our TV's on the fritz apparently behind us. You do have a 16-13 win that we got into yesterday, but we'll get into more. We'll also have, hey, it's Tuesday, which means it's take versus take. Who am I going up against today? Floating heads behind the glass.
I don't know. Wait a second. I have a question. Does that mean I have the questions?
That means you have the questions. Okay.
I have been.
That's a lot.
Okay, so I have been. That's the next segment, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 12:15 every Tuesday and Friday.
Son of a motherless goat! What am I gonna do?
Nobody talked to Snead in the break. He's got to put his thinking cap on.
So what is that? I gotta have a sports question, a food question, an entertainment question?
It's up to you. I think those are made up rules by somebody else. No, those are made up rules by somebody else who does it from time to time. It's not a bad way to go about it. That is certainly a good formula that can equal solid questions.
I was having a good day. You don't know what it's like to be me, Amy.
This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Seeing red blood probably came first, and maybe stopping it from flowing outside the body was a concern.
Ooh,
I got very.
That's
scientific.
got so many levels. That's got a lot of levels to it. Some that I don't want to explore.
Yeah. Are you okay with? I mean, not like just
seeing blood.
Yeah. Are you okay with blood, or
no. I'm not a gore guy. I'm not a. You know what? I'm not gonna throw up sick or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see it. You know. I kind of like the old movies. Remember back when you saw an old war movie? You know, they'd show the guy, and you show the video over here, they cut to the other guy over here, it's like, oh, I'm shot! Now, they want to show this, and they want to, in gory detail, that bullet penetrating every fiber of that person.
Here's a slow motion leg that's not attached to anything else flying through the screen.
Here's all the blood and stuff that comes. I don't need to. I'm pretty sure. Shot that guy. This guy got shot over here. I'm good with the fake tomato on the chest, okay?
Is it ketchup? Who cares?
Yeah, cares.
That's fine.
That guy's dead.
That's fine. He's got some Heinz on his chest.
Yeah,
Don't worry
now we
about
want
it.
to go up there. We want to show. I'm going to put that kill shot to your face.
That is such an interesting, to be the whatever props guy or I hope that they don't fully enjoy it because there's something about
they're fully enjoying
this. Is gonna look just like innards. Yes,
fully enjoying that.
That person does not get to be around me any longer.
Yeah, you guys want to go watch all these movies. Somebody's talking about there's a Thanksgiving movie coming up, a Thanksgiving horror. You talking about that?
Yeah, there is.
Why not? What are they gonna kill the guy with the turkey? They're gonna break the wishbone and stab the guy to death with it.
He's like in a pilgrim mask. Or something. And maybe there's a team of them. I don't know. I've only half watched the trailer. How many different
ways can you kill a guy, man? It's like, what's with you people, man?
There's one scene where I think a lady's in an oven and
come on,
she
man.
burns to death or something.
When do horror movies jump the shark, man? When does a horror movie jump the shark? I mean, if it's the Amityville horror, don't go to Amityville.
Yeah.
I mean, is that hard? Is that real hard? If it's Halloween, what's the lake that they're at in Friday the 13th? Don't go back to the damn lake anymore.
Lake.
Why do you have to go there?
So I want to say it's called Lake Stab Hacky.
Yeah.
I don't think that's real, but it's just
why do we got to go back to this place? If people were dying there, you know what? Let's go up to this place. I heard a lot of people died up there. No, it'll be good.
It's the Geico commercial we've talked about. Hey, maybe don't go to lake/a stab.
Yeah,
it's kind of in the name.
Stay away from the cabin in the woods.
Yeah. Exactly. How about the movie Lake Placid where they got the giant alligator?
That is
hey, there's a giant alligator in the lake. Hey, let's go up there and go fishing.
That has fueled my nightmares.
It's a great time to go skiing, guys. How about we go skiing this year?
When I was a kid, that movie legitimately made me antsy around murky water because they're in the state of New York and there's this giant alligator. Wasn't it Betty White that was feeding it cows? This seems like a fever dream as I describe that movie. Man, crazy it didn't win awards. It is the bottom line on 100.7 The Score. Speaking of not winning awards, when we come back, it'll probably be take versus take. That next on
Question
100.7
written.
The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Well, it is time for the fastest growing game show in the world. To do take versus take, you need 3 parts. You need 2 competitors, and you need the question asker. Oh, there he is. It is the bottom line 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Clint Scott, Chris Snead, a cavalcade of producers helping us out, but stepping up to the mic, Landon Parrish, who will be taking on me.
Gentlemen.
In take versus take.
All right, question number 1, gentlemen. What is the most unique Thanksgiving side dish you've ever had? Family recipes, the family traditional stuff.
Oh,
Thanksgiving's next week.
yeah. Are you a Thanksgiving fan in general?
I love Thanksgiving.
It's my favorite holiday.
It is.
I hate the disrespect. It gets.
I refuse. There's a rule. There are no Christmas decorations, trees, anything. There are lights on my house, but they will not be plugged in until we eat bird.
Until we eat the bird. My wife's family, and I don't know how unique this is, because I'm pretty straightforward with my classic Thanksgiving staples that I love, and my family did. And I wasn't sure about it, but they almost do there's like Cajun spices involved on their turkey, but the big New Mexican kicker in there is they do a green chili in, they put it seasoned in the turkey, and there's green chilies a part of it. And I was like, I'm a green chili fan, and I was like, that sounds kind of weird to me. That is one of the best turkey legs I have ever engulfed. And when I say engulfed,
what side dishes?
Maybe not unique, but I certainly love it, and it's not at every Thanksgiving. It's just the real simple Jell-O and whipped cream mixed together. Whatever that thing is phenomenal. And I've only had it with the red. I don't know if it's cherry or strawberry. I just know it's red, and I know that there's some sort of whipped cream.
Interesting. That's a good bounce back. What about you?
So I'm kind of the same way. I think there's the certain things that should be at every Thanksgiving. But I went to my fiance's family's for their Thanksgiving last year for the first time. And this isn't necessarily weird or unique, but they do a lot of stuff with mac and cheese. So there'll be mac and cheese, and I like it just normal, but they'll add the breadcrumbs and bacon and all the stuff in fancy mac and cheese. And that's probably the most unique thing that I've seen. And I don't really know how I feel about it.
That tough decision. I'm going to actually go with the mac and cheese, fancy mac and cheese. I was leaning towards the Jell-O whipped cream because my answer was actually going to be my wife's family has what's called the green stuff, which is basically Jell-O with whipped cream in it, and they enhance it with some chopped up walnuts. And I actually was the first couple of years I was like, no, I'm not having that. And they said, try it. It's actually pretty good. I always get the green stuff now.
And see, it's funny because I just call it the Jell-O concoction, but they have a name for it, and it ends with salad, and I'm like, this is the best salad ever. Green stuff. But I was leaning towards that. You were going down the wrong road with the Hatch green chilies, because everything Hatch green chilies sucks. Oh no, you are
no.
So
no, I said what I said.
It's not for you.
I said what I said.
It's not for you.
I said what I said.
A Hatch green chili bacon cheeseburger is one of the most blessed food items on God's green earth. God's green chili earth.
I'll choose to side with the judge on this one. And I think that was a great opinion.
Sure, I bet you would. I bet you would.
Question number 2: If you could swap Texas Tech's Red Raider mascot with any other NCAA mascot representing a color, which would it be? So in other words, I would say you want to shade the Texas Tech Red Raiders and swap with Minnesota, so they would be the Texas Tech Golden Gophers.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
And they would be the Minnesota Red Raiders. Mm-hmm. Who would you swap with? What would be your ultimate? Any color. It has to be a mascot with color. Mascot of color. Can you say that? Did I say something racist?
Okay. I would probably do. I'm not fluent in the mascots, as has been pointed out by some of the other people, but it would definitely be the Texas Tech Orange.
Oh, it's just the Texas Tech Orange.
Oh man, no, you got to get something daunting in there. How about some Golden Hurricanes? I'm gonna take Tulsa and make their mascot relevant and bring it to the Big 12.
Texas Tech Golden Hurricanes.
Yeah, and we're swirling.
Isn't that what they call our dust storms anyway?
No, those are haboobs. I'm sorry. the fact that you went orange, I can't stand the color orange in any level at all. So I got to go here.
I do like their mascot though, just like the actual on the field mascot. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's just a blob.
Oh,
I'd like to ask what color your shirt is.
This is salmon.
Yeah, I was gonna say pink, but
No,
salmon
it's
is
salmon.
It's pretty orange back
No,
here.
it's salmon. This is salmon.
There's a tint through the glass. We need to get that fixed.
Question number 3. We're going for the win here. And if you were paying attention in the first segment, you would know where I'm going with this. What is the dumbest concept for a horror movie?
Oh man, the like one that's already made up.
Yeah,
Right?
any horror movie.
There are so many dumb ones out there that I love, but the one that I don't know, I can't really get behind, and that's got some popularity. I think there's multiple in its series, so I'm going to try to take down, it's not like a Saw, but I think I'm going to take down one that has a lot of movies to it, and that's the murderous Leprechaun movies. And it's literally just called Leprechaun. I just don't...
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like it would be that daunting.
Does the leprechaun keep going to the places where people are going, or do the people keep going to the places where the leprechaun is at?
I think he just keeps appearing, and it's like when I think of Leprechaun, I think of the guy that's running away saying you'll never get me Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll never get me Lucky Charms. And I think of a guy that I can just punt 50 yards.
Exactly.
And so I just think that he would be very easily defeated, and he's a leprechaun. And it's like, okay, so should I just be worried every St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
Or is he around all the time?
What you got?
So if you've ever gotten on to Prime Video, they have these movies that are, I don't know who puts them together, but there's 2 in particular that stick out to me, and I'm gonna go with Llamageddon is what it's called, and it's a llama it's a killer llama, and it shoots laser beams out of its eyes, it's haunting this farmhouse, and it's just taking out the people in this farmhouse out in the country, and it looks like it was shot on a old iPhone, maybe, if that might be giving it too much credit. And that is definitely right next to Killer Sofa. Killer Sofa's really bad as well. But yes, those are both movies.
This is in 2015. I'm adding this. I'm actually going to watch this. This is the type of movies I'm talking about that I love.
This is without question Llamageddon wins.
Yeah.
That's
fine.
But I would have also accepted Thanksgiving. I know it has coming out next week, but that's a dumb concept. And I would have also accepted Attack of the Giant Tomatoes. Have you ever seen it? Have you seen Attack of the Giant Tomatoes?
I haven't. I know what it is. That's one I haven't watched.
Yeah, that is dumb. That is dumb.
Have you ever got the Walmart bin of DVDs when it's you never know what you're going to pull up. It could be a movie you've heard of before, or it could be. We used to do, when I was a freshman at LCU, we went there specifically in October to go find some sort of cheap horror movie, and we found a 4-pack, and we're like, this is great. In that 4-pack was a movie called The Evil Bong that had Cheech in it. No, Chong. Sorry, had Tommy Chong in it, and the concept of the movie was they would, smoke from it and get, sucked into this murderous world. It was, haunted. It made me question, how do we decide what goes out and what doesn't? What gets made as a movie and what doesn't?
I mean, when you have things like that, you obviously have someone sitting around smoking weed, obviously, and they start writing something up. And so they obviously call somebody else that was smoking weed and pitch the idea to them. And they all go, what a great idea.
Have you seen the Winnie the Pooh? Now that it's public domain,
Blood and honey.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, the domain's open. Let's run buck wild, baby. Whatever you got, throw it on the wall. And we'll put it in the movie. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
All right, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Landon Parrish, today's Take versus Take winner. It is the bottom line, 100.7 the score. Good questions. Good questions.
On the fly.
Yeah.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Clint Scott, Jamie Lent, Tyler Brown behind the glass taking care of us. We're also streaming live on Fox 34 News now and on YouTube. So if you would like to make eye contact with us, we won't know it, but we'll feel it in spirit. You'll know it. You can do that there. So that means we have to look at the camera, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which, us, since we're not like news, shocker, where we have to like look directly into the camera, and look right into it and be like, I'm here to tell you what is going on in the world. I don't know where I was going with that. It's just we don't really have those rules, but so I don't know if it's because if it's like a documentary, which is really this is more like what this is for the TV side. It's like we're going to take a look in at these crazy people's lives. You're not supposed to look right in the camera, right? They say act natural.
Oh, okay.
Or act normal. Whatever normal is for you.
Yeah, we don't really do normal.
No.
Yeah.
Say, be yourself. This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line from Tyler. I'm sure Snead brought the attitude to lunch. This had the honor of meeting Josh Young at the soccer game.
Nice.
Was cool just seeing him be a normal dude who just won a World Series. Super genuine and nice guy.
Yeah, I would tell you, I don't think Josh Young, just his makeup is just different than a lot of people. I don't think he'll ever change who he is. He's always been a pretty down-to-earth, humble kid. And
we'll see after World Series number 2. That's typically when it goes to young athletes' heads. So, if he's a back-to-back world champion third baseman, then he might get super cocky and he might start using the phrase, "Do you know who I am? Get out of my way. Don't talk to me. You're all ants." All of those kind of phrases.
Step aside, peasant.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely very shocked that he did not win Rookie of the Year in the AL.
Yeah, if he hadn't gotten hurt, I think it would have happened. But
Agreed.
Anyway, I don't think Josh Young's ever going to change. So he's kind of, I think you could kind of put him up there in that category with Mahomes. He just is who he is, and he's not going to change.
Speaking of Mahomes, of course, he was there in Lawrence, not just super far of a trek for him from Kansas City, repping Texas Tech. Tech wins 16-13 in Lawrence. I'm just curious on your thoughts with this. We haven't had a chance to talk about the game as much. Ugly football game, but you don't really care because you get a win. And even though if you would have lost that game in Lawrence, mathematically, you'd be doing what Houston is right now with 4 wins going. Yeah, we can go to a bowl game, but with UCF coming to town, and then more importantly on the other side, that Friday night showdown with Texas in Austin, boy, that percentage just drops almost to just dead flat.
Yeah, absolutely, and probably hurts your attendance for Saturday against UCF just because people maybe feel like they losing a little bit of hope and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's massive because of that. I think it was really big on Saturday, and yeah, it was ugly. There's no question about it. But you found a way. It's okay. I mean, I know that we at some point, became this fan base that expects great offense and wants great offense and high flying and putting up huge numbers and all that. And I'm still one of those guys that likes to see good offense. Don't get me wrong, but it's okay to win low scoring games. It's okay to win with your defense. It's okay to win with your run game. I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of people, were really frustrated with play calling or offensive game plan in that game.
Sure.
I feel like on Saturday you saw the situation that you were in, and that's, hey, we've got a 10-point lead. Hey, we saw our quarterback in the first quarter make 2 or 3 passes that very easily could have been picked off, one of which was into double, triple, quadruple coverage, whatever you want to say it, whatever you want to call it, I should say. And then you see that the opponent is playing with a super inexperienced quarterback, and you're saying to yourself, let's do anything we can to make sure that we're not beating ourselves here. And so I think you did get really conservative with the game plan, and I don't have an issue with that. I think there was a little bit of playing not to lose rather than playing to win, but to me that was playing careful. And I even look back to West Virginia where, Tyler Shuck gets hurt, and you got Baron Morton coming in who hadn't been taking a ton of first-team reps. And it's raining, it's crazy, and you're throwing the ball a ton in that first half. You kind of figured it out in the second half and went to the run game more, but you were throwing the ball a ton and taking too many chances. And it felt like, and especially when your run game looked like it was going well, as it did in the second half. And so I feel like this was an adjustment from then. It was much better done. And yeah, it didn't turn to offensive numbers, but big offensive numbers, but you're allowed to work together with your offense and your defense. And now if Kansas had scored on some of those drives where they got close, then maybe you change things up and you say, okay, well, the Jayhawks are scoring, so we're not going to be able to hold them to 13 points or whatever, and so we're going to need to score 24 to win this game. Yeah. And you change your game plan. But I thought it was, I'm not saying it was perfect by any stretch, but what game is perfect for an offense or defensive coordinator? I mean, that's just silly talk. So, and there were opportunities there for the Red Raiders, and it was frustrating. I didn't feel like Barron was at his best by any stretch of the imagination, but I love the fact that when it came down to it, he made big throws to help you win the game, and executed the game plan like that they kind of adjusted to after Jason Bean goes down. And so I'm obviously thrilled that you got the win against a decent team on the road and all that good stuff. So I think there's plenty to feel good about.
Well, and like with Baron Morton, like this doesn't by any means like excuse what was a really bad read on that interception, but I mean he just coming back with that shoulder injury still just does not look right. Well, and you're on.
I feel Coach McGuire said he felt like he was super healthy going into the TCU game. But he took a few shots in the TCU game. I think he got banged up again.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not sitting here where I'm trying to go like, hey, he was lying to you when he said he was better, because he looked dramatically better, especially at the start in the first half of that TCU game, And I'm not here to tell you either that like I think Baron Morton has an elite cannon, but there was some zip that certainly felt like it was off of his arm in Lawrence, which just isn't going to help. And so then you're doing the decision of, okay, well, do we let him, who has a much better control of the offense, or do we put back in the Jake Strong experiment? And it did turn into where it just felt like you were trying to hang on to another game against a Kansas offense that was slowly figuring stuff out.
Yeah. But that's why I said like it kind of felt like you're playing not to lose rather than playing to win. You're just it wasn't quite to the level of Coach Klein and the Water Boy, who was taking he was just trying to get to his defense so Bobby Boucher could go make a play on defense. Yeah. And Redbow, you just decided they were going to take a knee and punt it away each time back to their offense because their offense was bad. Excuse me. It wasn't quite that level, but there was some, hey, we want to make sure we don't hurt ourselves here by turning the ball over on, giving Kansas a short field or anything like that.
I'm just imagining, you go down into the field, and even if they're not mic'd up, but like the player next to him's mic'd up, and you have like Jacob Rodriguez down there, like Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Did you not see my Water Boy analogy coming? Does that out of the blue there?
No, I liked it.
You liked it? I
liked it. That was really good. When we come back, it is a question of the day. You do have the bottom line, 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is the bottom line. You got it from 107 The Score and 107thescore.com. Clint Scott, Jamie Lent, Tyler Brown behind the glass taking care of us. You can hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line, thoughts, comments, questions, reactions, all of that. Welcome there. We got this on the chat line from Steven. There was a fish tank in a cable office lobby. There was a tank camera on a cable channel. It was shut off. Customers called yelling, "What happened to the fish channel?" I kind of think fish tanks are gross. Because you really got to have some upkeep on those things.
Yeah, there's a little bit of work there, I guess. I don't know that I would say they're gross, but you got to have the desire to put the effort into it.
I don't know.
I think I told you I had like a little one when I was in college.
With just a single fish?
Two
Parent?
fishes.
What were their names? You've told me this, yes, but I can't remember their names. Tony and Dave?
No, Zebby
Oh, okay, yeah.
and Dennis.
Rodman.
One was named after Zebby Lethridge, who was our quarterback when I
Mhm.
was tech, and
Mm-hmm.
the other one was like, it was a goldfish, but it had like black and white mixed in around it. It was funky looking,
Mm-hmm.
and he was named Dennis because that was the time when Dennis Rodman was changing his hair color every day.
That's right.
So, yeah, I had them both I think they both lasted for 3 years or so while I was at college.
Did you interact with them? That's something else I don't get about fish, because I've had pets all my life. My family and we've had several different animals, and every single one you can interact, but you really can't do anything with a fish. And if like you do, it's probably bad for it, right? Like you're not like child hand grasping in there like, come here, let me pet you. Let me tickle you under your little fishy chin. Probably not good for it.
Did you just ask me if I interacted with a fish?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not a pet, it's decoration. It's living decoration. It's animal art.
I mean, I didn't like pick it up or anything. I mean,
Did you talk to him?
probably when I was
Like, Dennis, leave Zebby alone. He's having Zebby time. Get out of his castle.
I think probably when I was pouring the food in, I probably would say, like, "What's up, guys? Whatever.
You
Got some grub time, whatever."
You baby talk him?
No, I don't think I did that.
grumpy goose. Yes, you were.
I don't think so.
Who's got fantastic fins? Zebby does.
I never do that to Winfield, so.
I think that's why he was alarmed with us, because that's how we talked to him the entire time.
Mm.
He was like, you left me off with stupid people. Like, they don't know how to talk. They have the weirdest voices.
Yeah.
You dropped me off with some dum-dums and trusted me in their
Yeah.
hands. I could have died.
Choice says you do the same thing to him over in the office.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Mhm.
Who's a little waco, wouldn't it? You are. You are. Who's got highlighter green shoes? Joyce does. Joyce does. He hates it.
Regular
Who likes
vegetable-
Juma ceviche? Who wants food poisoning?
Mhm.
You do. Let's have a question of the day, shall we?
We shall.
We shall. Maybe. There's a law that we can't do it until we hear Big Voice Guy.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Okay, I want you to go back throughout the course of the season, Clint,
Mhm.
Kyler, and our fine listening audience, and tell me which is the game that you want to replay the most.
Ooh.
If you have a healthy quarterback and all that, which one do you want to replay the most?
Okay, so we can, like, it's not replaying it where the players that were available are
No,
available.
maybe it
It's
is. Maybe it is.
Everybody.
Maybe it is. I'm just telling you,
Everybody?
you have the full team at your disposal. You can even pick which quarterback you want. Any of the three.
Man. Kansas. No, I'm just kidding. Just a joke. You know, it wouldn't be any of the non-conference games just because I put more stock into some because yeah, you could go back and you should beat that Wyoming team. I'm deciding between West Virginia and BYU. like West Virginia, here's what I'm stuck between. West Virginia would be the better win in Morgantown. But at the same time, like that BYU game was just so atrocious going, this team is not this good, this team is not this good, while you were just giving them the ball and just suffocating in Provo. It was so frustrating. That was just, I mean, it felt like mid-first quarter, like you got no shot in this game, and it's not that good of a team that you have no shot against. So as I'm talking it out loud, and it's angering me again, give me BYU, and you go into Provo and just knock them down a peg or two. You know what? They're a little riding too high, even though they've been beat up the past couple of weeks. I mean, especially since that was the Jake Strong game where he had the reins the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to sound eventually like the more his name gets brought up that we're just digging at him, and I'm not trying to.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
But I mean, yeah, give me Baron Morton in Provo. Give me Jacob Rodriguez in Provo.
Yeah. Kyler?
I'd probably have to go with the Oregon game.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been really nice to. We could have very easily won that game.
Sure.
We should have won that game.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to be able to knock off one of the top teams in college football.
And think how
right
close
now.
you were to winning that game,
Yeah.
even with most of the turnovers.
Mm-hmm. It was a very
Crazy.
It was a winnable game. They didn't play great, and they still had a chance to win it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you played great up or except for the fact that you turned the ball over so much. Which
is funny because that's like a unique game where how many times can you say you know, other than turning the ball over 4 times, you played really good football.
Yeah, I wanna agree with Kyler and pick that one too. But there's one thing that's keeping me from that. I mean, if you look at the standings in the conference right now, one more Big 12 win, and you're like, I mean, you could be in the mix for being in the Big 12 championship game, right?
I mean, you're in the same line as Kansas State. You're in the same line as Oklahoma State. You're in the same line as Oklahoma. And you have which technically, if I have this map right, like you still technically could make the Big 12 championship game right now, but you'd have like realistic talks about it.
And you could possibly go into the final game against Texas with a chance to knock them out and claim their spot.
Yeah, and do like the swap, which is even better.
Yeah, so to me, it's got to be a Big 12 game. I think I understand the BYU side of things. I don't know. I just disgusted the way you played at West Virginia. Just felt like that was so ugly. And you played bad against BYU, but I find myself not as frustrated just because I feel like you put that young man in such a tough spot, right?
Yeah,
not having a bunch of, not having a bunch of reps up to that point. And I just feel like that was, I mean, you were facing a backup quarterback who I just did not think was very good at all. I thought Kansas's backup quarterback who hadn't thrown a pass was way better. Than the guy from West Virginia.
Marshall was truly horrible.
Yeah.
Just like even for a freshman, and I guess you could say this with your freshman too, but I mean, he looked like he'd never played quarterback before. He didn't even look like what the concept of the position was.
Yeah, just didn't think he was very good. Team. So I probably would pick West Virginia, but I think BYU is a good answer. And if I was picking a non-conference, it would be Oregon. I just think about what it could mean if you had another Big 12 loss. So to me, it has to be one of those Big 12 games. I mean, maybe Kansas State is the answer. I felt like you had a chance to win that game too if Baron Morton's not knocked out of that game. And as many times as we've lost to Kansas State, that probably would have been a lot of fun to beat them.
That's an interesting one because I'm overconfident.
And that Clint would have knocked them out of being in that spot that's tied with you.
Can we, on the other side, start hour number 3? Ouch. Don't touch me, you're sick. I'm
not sick. I sound like this all the time.
It's too much pizza, right?
Sure.
So I'm trying to get through a slice over there, trying to talk through the pepperoni and cheese. On the other side, I want to keep going with this,
Okay.
if allowed. It's the
I'll
bottom
allow
line. Okay, perfect. It's the bottom line 100.7 the score. Hour number 3 coming up next.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the bottom line. You've got us on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Clint Scott, Jamie Lent, Kyler Brown behind the glass. It is time for Tell Me I'm Wrong, and I have it today. I'd like to go back to Texas Tech football. We'll keep up with their conversation. You have 2 regular season games left. Now, as I say this, and there's a big if involved, I know that this would be a tough task, but I think that this is what builds into my thinking. So, we all know, we've talked about it a bunch. This has clearly not been the season we projected or had dreamed of or, built our expectations up to by any means. You've had a bunch of injuries. You've had at times a very flat offense. You've had some, to what we were just talking about, some like disgusting losses you wish you could replay, but you can't. You go back to last year, year 1, Joey McGuire. If I said, this is like a little mini Tell Me I'm Wrong. If I said overwhelming success in the end of what maybe was expected in that season, would you agree? Would you just label it as a success? How would you?
Last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I didn't think overwhelming success felt overdone.
No, it compared to what you expected?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's your Tell Me I'm Wrong statement with the big if involved.
Can I take a 30?
Sure. Beep. 30 seconds.
I could have swore Kyler came in here and said, "Hey, you want me to do Tell Me I'm Wrong?" And you said,
It's all good. It's all good.
"Yeah." And Kyler said, "Okay, yeah, I'll do it." Clint said, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." So I don't have to think the rest of the show. And my comment to that was, "Oh, so it'll be different than any other time?" And then we just came back from the break, and he just ignored you, Kyler.
It's all good.
It's the NyQuil. It's the NyQuil. I forgot.
Did that not happen? Was I here for that?
No, you have.
I mean,
NyQuil.
I'm heavily medicated right now.
So am I.
Okay.
Yeah.
It definitely happened.
It definitely happened?
It's okay.
All right. Okay, Clint. Now that we got that figured out.
No, mine's not as good. Kyler has just like, I was so prepared because, okay, let me defend myself for just a second.
Just blew you off, Kyler.
I did not. I did not. I thought Jackson was in today. And you know what? First off, Kyler showed initiative even though he wasn't on the schedule to do anything. And then as I remembered that Kyler was on the board today and not Jackson, I was like, I will take over. Tell Me I'm Wrong. I'll do that. And even though it's not my turn, Jamie, I will. I mean,
he
do
just
this
asked
sacrifice.
you every bit of 3 minutes ago if you could do it.
And then
you told
again,
me
Kyler
yes.
took initiative. But as soon as the music hit, I went back into what I was, focusing in on or preparing for, like for an hour, and it just went back into that. Yeah, so Kyler has our Tell Me I'm Wrong today. Take it away.
Okay.
That's good, 'cause you were about to tell me I was wrong.
This better be good.
Yeah, this better be.
If it's not, Clint has to give his.
Okay.
I'm just going to save mine. Mine's evergreen.
Tell me I'm wrong. The Buffalo Bills will finish this season with a record of 500 or worse.
Ooh. Well, this will be fun for one of us. Just a quick side question. Did you know that Jamie's a Bills fan?
I did not.
This will be really fun for one of us. Okay. Yeah, so the Bills, boy, what was that last night? That probably didn't make you feel any better with the sickness.
I went to bed at halftime.
That was probably smart.
I'm a longtime Buffalo Bills fan. I know when it's not going well.
If it makes you feel any better, Like the Chiefs did the same thing, even worse, where they just like gave the I don't see how the Broncos keep winning these games where they're just gifted wins.
It doesn't make me feel any better. I'll answer. You're right.
So the
Sorry,
Bills.
What was that? You say I'm right?
You're right.
I'm right.
You're right. Did you see Stephon Diggs' brother?
Yes.
You got to get out of there.
14 needs to get up on out of there or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. 14. You're the reason that they've blown up chemistry, but he needs to get out of there, or so he can go blow up another team. Yeah. That way to not take any responsibility for a bro.
Man, and you're also not wrong with that, by the way, with your Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen has obviously not been good. His receivers weren't good last night. They killed themselves with injuries. And then Josh Allen, to me, looks like he's trying to do too much, and he feels the pressure of Stephon Diggs.
And
like, because he feels like every step he takes, he's getting criticized, and I just, that's what Josh Allen looks like. He's trying to do too much to me.
I don't know what like Diggs' contract situation is, but the like week in, week out seeing stuff like this, and then having to ask like in the media to Josh Allen, like, hey, what's up with you and Diggs? Like we all know what's up with Diggs. He's a hazard to the locker room. He was the same way at his previous stop. Like that is just what he has done. He has not been a good locker room guy. Yeah, but and sometimes we put in the professional standpoint, maybe sometimes we put too much stock into it. But in this situation, it's so true that you were distracting from the team, and even though you're a super talented receiver.
But here's when the people come in, Clint, and they're like, oh, well, if you take the emotions out of that guy, he's just not the same player on the field. That's who he is. And if you take that away from him, he can't. Freaking hogwash. You know.
That's a backwoods New York.
Just an absolute joke, okay? Because you know what? There are other guys that care and that are passionate. You know what? Patrick Mahomes cares, and he's passionate, and he's a great teammate, okay? Pick 1,000 guys across the league, you know, that don't call out their teammates, that aren't super critical and don't just lose their mind when their team doesn't play well and act like it has nothing to do with them. You know, take no responsibility. I mean, Buffalo looks like a chemistry disaster right now.
So like the hogwash, what you're talking about, is so true because like, oh, you take out the emotion. What is he as a player? He's a shell of himself. He is a professional football player, and if you are a professional in everything, in anything in life, if you are a professional at it, you're not being a professional if you are hindering the corporation, the business, in this case, the team.
Yeah, and if you can't not throw little temper tantrums when things don't go right for your team, I mean, it's a joke. But hey, 14 needs to get up out of there.
Yeah, can we stop making like excuses for head cases? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, we make the excuse all the time. Typical wide receiver, right? That's what we're like. Superstar wide receiver.
Typical prima donna.
Yeah.
He's just a superstar. La, 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 la.
Yeah, if a quarterback acts like that, we think, oh, this guy's he's an idiot.
Or like if an offensive lineman did that, we'd be like, dude, get that guy off the team. Yeah. Like he is causing so many issues. He's an offensive lineman.
Yeah, you ever hear an offensive lineman call out his quarterback? Never. Never.
Except for that one time there was that Jeff Saturday Peyton Manning fight, but that felt different and funny.
Yeah, okay.
That was a great little blow up.
But there's no two ways around it. Josh Allen is not playing well.
Sure.
And he's their whole team.
But you know what doesn't help?
As far as offense goes. Yeah, and they're asking him to do too much, and he's trying to do too much. They can't get him a consistent run game. I mean, early on in the game, they're driving yesterday. Gabe Davis can't catch a pass, goes through his hands, it's interception. I mean, Buffalo's a mess. It's, again, as a longtime Bills fan, I'm just numb. I'm just numb to it. I always expect, again,
just want to feel something.
Expect the worst, hope for something a little bit better. That's what Bills fans do.
Fantastic. Tell me I'm wrong. You can definitely do it again every time you're here.
Thank you.
I definitely won't forget. By the way, I think you're right as well. I mean, you got, and then you have the Jets, but then you have Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, and you have the Patriots on there, but you've already lost to the Patriots.
Yep.
And
Already lost
at
to
the
the Jets,
Dolphins.
too.
Yeah. So, yeah. That was fun.
Super fun.
It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.